Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss, is it the right time to buy an investment property? You know, there's a lot of noise out there in the market. You got high interest rates, all types of different things going on, and people get fearful. But here's something that I've noticed from being in real estate since 2008. And when I got into real estate in 2008, the market had crashed. We had a lot of foreclosures, short sales. And the interesting part of what I learned about that market was I started paying attention to investors. And investors were out buying distressed properties. They were fixing them up, selling them. And as the market started to recover, these investors did really well. And the property values went up. But during that period of time, there was no end in sight on how low the market was going to go. I think the people that blocked out the noise and were able to lock in and pull off a strategy did really well. And I think that in the housing market, when you want to jump in and buy your first investment property, sometimes really hard because you have really good intentions, but you hear a lot of different feedback online. Whether you're looking at different comment sections and people are saying, oh, interest rates are super high, or short-term rentals are not a good strategy now. There's just a lot of noise. And so you have to kind of like break through that to actually get going. But at the end of the day, you pick a strategy and you put the right team around you and you run your numbers and you check all the boxes. You can do good in real estate in any market. It doesn't matter if there's high interest rates, low inventory, low rates, whatever the case may be, you can put it together now. You don't need to wait for the perfect signals. And I think that really holds a lot of people on the sidelines because they want to invest, but maybe they're afraid that they're going to make a mistake, or because of everything they hear online, that it's just not the right time. But I remember back during COVID, I was on a Bigger Pockets webinar. And it was, how to brace yourself during the market downturn. And during that period of time, there was a lot of people that thought the housing market was going to crash. And it basically was slow for a couple months. And from what I remember, and here in Silicon Valley, was the market skyrocketed. It went crazy. People were buying. They wanted more space. They wanted to do this. They wanted to do that. So it's really hard to kind of pull out a crystal ball to understand when is it the right time to do anything. I don't care if it's about real estate, the stock market. Of course, there's risks to it all. But I personally wouldn't sit on the sidelines because of what other people are telling me in the comment section, especially because most of the time, people in the comment sections don't even own real estate. So I don't know why they even talk about some of these things, because typically seasoned investors have a different approach when the market shifts. Now, I remember a couple years ago when the rates started going up, our strategy had to change because interest rates were going up. Properties weren't quote unquote cash flowing correctly. It was hard to kind of pencil out numbers. And so we just paused for a minute and then had to reassess what we were doing. And at that point, we didn't buy any properties. We stopped buying. And then maybe 6 months after that, we went into a whole different strategy that made sense. The numbers penciled and we moved forward. And that is just what a good seasoned investor does. And that's what you'll do once you start to buy investment properties. Is you'll learn so much on your first, and then you get to your second, your third, and then all of a sudden the market pivots. You're going to have to pivot your business as well. But I personally would never hold back on buying in any market unless it doesn't make sense. And right now we are currently buying properties, but our strategy changed. And that's kind of the key to it all. But just make sure that if you're really interested in buying your first investment property and you've done a ton of research and you're excited to get going, trust your gut, put together your team, do your due diligence the best you possibly can, and move forward. And don't wait for the perfect market, the perfect interest rate, those things will never always all line up in your favor. So you have to adapt and make those adjustments, because if you can get into a market that's tough, whether it's low inventory or high rates, and you can make a deal pencil out, when the market does change, you're going to be better positioned at that point, and you'll be ready for that next phase, because there's so many different phases. I look back now, in 2008, I'm selling a condo in San Jose that back during the market crash, these condos were going for $350. They are now $1 million plus. But back then, everybody was scared to buy them because they thought the price was going to go down more and all these different things. But then the people who did lean in and bought and said, hey, look, I'm going to own this property for X amount of years. I'm going to have it as my primary residence for 10 years or an investment property for 10 years. All these people made out really well. And that's a big thing you have to pay attention to, because a lot of the times waiting for that perfect market causes delays where you're like, okay, it's not right now. I'll look into this next year. And then another year goes by and another year goes by, and you still haven't started to invest. And this doesn't mean that it's going to stop you from making mistakes or being put in a situation. Investing comes with a lot of risks. But in this day and age, we have so much great information on like YouTube and podcasts that you can pull off anything, gather up enough information, build a team, and pull off anything you want in any market. And I challenge you, if you're sitting on the sidelines and you definitely want to get into investing, take the leap. I think that you'll impress yourself down the road, and also thank yourself that you did it and didn't wait around and listen to everybody that was telling you otherwise. Because at the end of the day, this is your future and you have to carve your own path. That's it for today's video. I wish you the best, and I'll see you on the next one.